Something that I find incredibly sad is how conservatives get away with grooming and brainwashing and socially conditioning their children, turning them into just as hateful and disgusting pieces of shit as they are, especially when it comes to like the continued abuse of like, gay people, indoctrinating them in order to hate trans people, to hate immigrants and so on. You go on like these MAGA parades as a parent and they're dressing up their children with slogans that they do not understand, talking about how much they hate immigrants and how, oh my god, the LGBTQ makes me afraid. They go in the streets, they go into like a Walmart or whatnot, and they're pointing at somebody who is gender non-conforming and being like, oh my god, this is someone you need to stay away from, stranger danger, this is like the evil person. Meanwhile, the actual victims of abuse, they are not being listened to because the criminals weren't gay people, the criminals weren't like trans people, the criminals weren't like illegal migrants. No. It was like cis, white, straight, predominantly men who are abusing them, who are exploiting the relationship that they have with their niece or something. It's crazy to me how a lot of like criminals get away with just pointing the finger at like marginalized communities because we don't have the platform to fight back. We don't have the media empire. We don't have the billionaires backing us up. And everything, you read about like in the Epstein files, how common it is for men to be abusive towards women because men do not hold other men accountable. It's not all men who are rapists, but it's a lot of men. It's a huge percentage of men who do not hold men who are rapists accountable. And they rather find like justifications, they're downplaying it. They are invalidating the victims because otherwise they are going to lose favors. They're going to lose their social standing. I saw like on my timeline, I saw this. Watch this 13-year-old boy destroy the LGBTQs. 13-year-old has message for the LGBTQ.
You're not gay, it's a demon that's inside of you.
Wow, 13-year-old having bangers. It's like, oh my god, your gender identity, your sexual orientation is actually like it's demonic. This is Christians grooming their children. They don't know what they're doing. They're being pushed into that.
You ain't born that way, don't let it try to lie to you. I rebuke.
And you have like parents, you have like old people fucking over a child's life in order to push like the anti-trans, anti-LGBTQ like agenda. And it's being celebrated, right? Obviously, in this comment, in this thread, a lot of people are memeing on it. My son's song might offend you.
First off, there's only two genders. All you pink hair
Kids are incredibly supportive of trans people, of gay people, only when parents tell them, an authority figure that they trust, tell them that, no, gay people, that's evil and demonic and so on. That is the point when they become just as hateful as them. They don't know what they are doing. Conservatives just take advantage of that. They don't want to have like education in like these areas and so on because that is going to make people less hateful towards marginalized groups. That makes it harder for the actual predators, the actual abusers to get away with being abusive and predatory. And the people in positions of power, they don't want this. It's just sad for the kid. Like imagine in 10 years, this kid is going to look back and be like, yeah, as a 13-year-old, I was groomed and conditioned into making shitty rap songs about offending the woke. And, this is like actually something that society should address because if you socially condition the next generation to just be as hateful as the current generation, and you don't give them the education to like push back against the ignorance, the misinformation, and so on, then this is going to like continue the cycle of abuse. And also like imagine if this kid is going to realize that, hey, actually, I'm not straight. Hey, actually, maybe I'm gender non-conforming. You know that they are going to get abused, like from their parents. Because their parents are like pushing them into that. And that sucks. I had one video a long time ago where I was like reacting to a video. Like a young girl goes, I might be a boy. And the mom went like off on her. Yeah, this one, how not to be a parent. Don't ever say that again. Jesus made you a girl. It's crazy how this abuse is being like celebrated, right? Oh, we're pushing normalcy. We're pushing common sense. No, you're being abusive. Because even if that kid is not trans, they are still not being allowed to explore their gender identity, their gender expression, and so on. And it's just, oh, you were born this way, Jesus made you this way, you have to behave and act a certain way, and this is how you need to be raised. You're going to grow up and you're going to be the property of a man who is going to impregnate you, and you're going to give him 2 children, you're going to take care of the household because that is what Jesus made you to do. That is your point. And that is a cycle that society needs to break. But, you know, conservatives are terrified of education, so they're trying desperately to boycott the education as much as possible, which also includes people like Toby Turner, who drugged and abused their partners, crying about Tomodachi Life adding a third option, the other option, the non-binary option. Oh my god, my Tomodachi can date same-sex couples? That is demonic. But like, don't look at like the Epstein files, obviously. Don't look at like the actual Antichrist living among us. No, no, no. Don't look at the White House. No, no, no. Why would you? Why would you look at this? And I'm getting so tired of like this constant loop, this constant cycle of abuse, turning children into bigots, because the generation before was just as miserable and brainwashed as they are. It's like when you have like parents who are like, you're going to grow up, you're going to have children because, you know, that's what you're meant to do, right? Your biological desire needs to be to procreate and continue your bloodline because, you know, that's what human beings are meant to do. Nothing is about like self exploration. Nothing is about like self-actualization. It's all just like the continuation of the bloodline. And then you realize that like single women without children in their 30s are so much happier than women with children, even if they're in a relationship. And you just realize, oh, okay, they're miserable, they can't live their life, they can't enjoy it, but they were conditioned into having children because like, oh my god, your biological clock is going to run out if you hit 30, you don't have children, if you don't have a family, you're a failure as like a human being, actually. You gotta be rushed into this. Actually, with 19, you gotta have like 2 kids already and you gotta be married. Your father needs to hand you over to like some other guy in exchange for farmland or something. This is just like continuing the cycle of like abuse. And then the 30-year-old miserable woman with children wants their children also to be as miserable as them because, you know, you gotta continue the cycle. How, like, oh my god, you gotta give me grandchildren. And it's just continuing this loop over and over again. And conservatism, like the goal is just for everyone to be miserable and just, you know, have peasants for the elite. But oh my god, worry about the trans people, the innocent trans people just living their life who are transitioning for themselves to be happier in their own bodies. Oh my god, think about the bloodline. Oh my god, me as a straight man, I would never want to date a trans woman. Oh my god, you are never going to be appealing to me. And it's like, hey, I transitioned for myself. I didn't transition in order to like sleep with some bigot. Always projection, every accusation is a confession. When it comes to right-wingers, yes. When it comes to right-wingers, every accusation is always a confession because they're literally just pointing the finger at marginalized groups that cannot fight back in order to distract from doing horrible things. And because they're speaking from a point of authority, and, you know, conservatives love their authority figures, they are not going to be challenged. Why would you try to punch up when you don't have, like, the power, but you can still punch down?